step into the spotlight.
Couple lights on, cameras roll, time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change, we open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the answers, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. From the pain to the power, the lessons we learn. Voices of the people, let the fire burn. Dr. Donna, Dr. Laxley, leading the way, guiding the truth in a world full of gray. Experts, activists, voices untold. Everyday heroes with stories so bold. This is more than a show, it's a movement, a spark, illuminating shadows, bringing light to the dark. We got the voices that are changing, be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. Step into the spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. We got the voices, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. And if you want the real, then tune in right now. We're breaking down walls, no backing down. One mic, one voice, one mission tonight. Step into the spotlight, let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's head to the spotlight. Let's get it right. What do?
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Monday of In the Spotlight. Of course, this is the home of Unfiltered Conversations, where real talk is what we do here. And I am none other than Dr. Donna Thompson.
And I'm Dr. Laxley, and together we are your fearless moderators. Dr. Donna, what's happening? What's popping?
Oh my goodness. It's a great Monday, and I am happy to be here. I must say it's a beautiful day today. Weather is nice, the chill is gone, the warmth is here, spring is here, and it is just a blessing.
So Dr. Donna, if you're happy, let me hear you shout it out loud.
If you're happy, oh, I can't sing.
All right, so it is awesome to be here. And I want to tell you, the month of March is almost done.
Mm-hmm.
I recall it was just the other day that it was January 1st, December 31st. And here we are, three-quarter days, all over, done. We're deep into the year. And that's a beautiful thing because we're here.
Yes.
We're here. So we appreciate it. We just love to be here. We love life. We're enjoying life, and we're doing wonderful things. So that's why it is so important to be here, because to be here and just be existing is not good enough, right? You got to
Correct.
make your mark, do some stuff. So, Dr. Donna, talk about doing some stuff. We have a powerful show tonight, but before we get to the show, I want you to run through these for me real quick. All right, real quick.
All right. So first thing coming up on our agenda that is happening in May, right around the corner, that is going to be our 2026 Kenya outreach. And we're traveling in May. We'll be there for approximately 2 weeks. And once again, it's all about serving the community. So we're going to be doing the toilets for children at schools. We're looking at 2 schools, and depending on how everyone, start to sending their donations, it may be more, right? More on the list. And of course, we'll be visiting the orphanages, doing some elderly visits, and doing the sanitary towels for the girls, which we know that's a big issue there as well. Potentially some, taking a look at the environment, some work there that's still evolving as far as what we'll do, meeting some government officials, so we can just kind of see how we can leverage what a collision with purpose is all about and what is happening in the community, so we can, look at resources to help uplift the community, and definitely visiting some cancer patients. We talk about the Elizabeth Satawa Cancer CBO. So we're looking at that will be launched during the time that we're there, and visiting some of those individuals who are actually fighting this horrific disease. And, once again, just, really being in the community and seeing how we can uplift the community outside of the initiatives that we have planned. And once again, we have, quite a number of team members that's traveling with us to help us to do this work. So that's what's coming up right around the corner in May to June.
And so I just want to quantify it a bit. When we say we're doing 2 toilets, each toilet will cost a minimum of $2,500. That's US dollars, right? Mm-hmm. We will do 2 toilets, and I know you talk about doing sanitary stuff for the ladies. We're mm-hmm. also going to be doing something special for the males, for the men, because they're often overlooked. And right. and this initiative will make sure that is not the case. All right, so we're going to be looking out for the young men in Kenya as well, going to orphanages, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So big stuff, and we're going to be working with leaders, politicians, civic leaders, all kinds of people. So this is exciting stuff. And you did book your ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
I booked mine. so we all ready to go. We're going to Kenya, and we're going to Kenya. So that's exciting. Another exciting thing that is happening with the Collision with Purpose, and this is a big deal because we're talking about going to Kenya, but we are from Jamaica.
Yes.
And we're very vested in Jamaica because that's our place, right? So this is a big thing right here, beyond the backpack, right? So recently we selected 135 primary school students from the parishes of Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And we gave each student all the books that they needed. Not 1 or 2, and we're talking textbooks. We mm-hmm. gave them enough books to cover them for the school year. But what is most important about that is we decided as a team that enough charity is great, but that's charity. We need to build bridges. We need to build capacity. So we needed to do more. So we started Beyond the Backpack, which is a GHN initiative. And what that program is all about is we're going to sponsor students, primary school students, for 3 years. Not 1 year, not 2 years, but 3 years. And each student is $2,000 per year. So we're going to start with 8 students, and then we're going to build it and grow it from there. And our goal, our objective, our plan is to go nationwide with this program. And I know we will. We'll get that done. So that's another big thing that we're onto here at the Global Humanity Network and a Collision with Purpose. We're sponsoring 8 students from Jamaica, primary school students, and it will be $2,000 per student mm-hmm. for 3 years. For 3 years. So we're going to walk with them. And each year we'll be adding more students. So it's not a one-off thing. And again, that is what we're all about. We're all about lifting, building, but not just giving, but it's all about building capacity, right?
Right.
But we must do a little bit more than just give, right? So yeah, that's what's happening. Anything else going on with you?
That's it. Just the next few weeks, it's going to be busy, and the next, I would say 2 months or so, going into the second quarter, it's going to be, just some busy time, but a lot of work. We still have a lot of work that we're that we're actually developing. So we still have the workshop, the growth mindset workshop that we have out there. We've done several workshops and we're expanding. That's actually going very well because that is expanding into different regions now. We've done it in California, Atlanta, and now we're working on the next workshop for Jamaica. So a lot of growth that's taking place there.
We'll be in Jamaica in April. We have 26 participants who will be joining our workshop, the Growth Mindset Blueprint Masterclass, and that is what it is. So we'll be in Jamaica around the weekend of April 18th, and we'll be presenting there as well. We're also doing some serious work with the ministry. I won't talk about that. Ministry of Education here at the Collision with Purpose. Again, we're building capacity. But this is in Jamaica. That's what it's all about. But Dr. Donna, tonight we have a very important show. Very important. And we're not just going to have conversation. We're talking about remembrance.
Yes.
Well, I want to begin with a question. What does it mean to remember if it does not change how we live? So I'm going to repeat that. What does it mean to remember if it does not change how we live? There are countless stories written in history, and then there are stories written in blood. Tonight, in the spotlight, we remember the millions of African men, women, and children taken from their land, stripped of their names, and forced into a journey where many never saw freedom again. The Middle Passage was not just a route, it was a rupture, a breaking of identity, of family, of humanity itself. But history did not end in suffering. It also produced voices of awakening. In 1917, right here in Atlanta, a Jamaican by the name of Marcus Messiah Garvey stood and spoke to a people about identity, pride, unity, and destiny. He reminded them, as he reminds us today, that we are not a people without history. We are a people whose history must never be forgotten. And tonight, we as a people stand at the intersection of both truths. The pain we must remember and the power we must reclaim. So Dr. Donna, we have a guest. Will you bring her on, please?
Yes, so tonight we have a special guest, special guest, I'm telling you, and it's none other than Dr. Evette Taylor-Reynolds, and she is the president of the Atlanta Jamaica Association, also referred to as the AJA, and and she's a powerhouse, and she is going to just share everything with us in reference to this symposium. It's the 3rd annual Marcus Garvey Symposium, commemorating the 109th anniversary of Marcus Garvey's first public lecture here in Atlanta, Georgia. Let me tell you, I am so humbled I know we have to introduce it, humble just to be a part of this, to be here in history. We are on land of history. If anyone understands that, like 109 years, 109 years. Oh my gosh. And we are a part of that history. So Dr. Evette is going to come on and she's just going to tell us all about this celebration, everything that goes into it, and just the work that she does, right? And so let's go ahead and welcome Dr. Evette to our platform and give her the nice drum roll. Okay, so we didn't do the drum roll. I'm gonna have to learn how to play the drum. Someone's gonna need to teach me how to play the drum so I can really do a drum roll.
Hello, Dr. Evette.
Hello, Dr. Stephenson. Thank you for having me, Dr. Donna. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, and I thank you for the opportunity for us to be here to share in this momentous period of time with everything that's going on in the world today and what this is all about.
There's some stuff going on, huh?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on in this world. But guess what? We're here and we have a life to live, and we're living it, and we're making a difference, aren't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that is what it's all about. So, Dr. Evette Taylor-Reynolds, let me also welcome you to In the Spotlight. But before we talk about our main thing tonight, can you help us understand who you are and what drives your passion for the work that you do?
Absolutely. I tell the story and I'm very proud. I say I'm from Jamaica. I'm a country girl. I've been exposed to the city life, but the memories that I have growing up in the hills of Westmoreland just touches everything that I do. From as early as I was about 14 years old, I was traveling through different rural communities, starting youth clubs for young people. And that was an empowerment for our communities because we learn parliamentary procedures, we learn how to speak, we learn how to lead. Overall, just total leadership. And of course, we grew up in the church. So you would get to display your talent, whether it's singing, poetry, or anything like that in the church. So I grew up in the community, being a part of the community. And to be very honest with you, I don't know anything else but to be a part of the community.
So thank you for that, Dr. Evette. Dr. Donna, did you know that Dr. Evette was a big-time athlete?
I have no idea.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
She was a serious athlete. And also another thing that you probably don't know, we're from the same parish.
Well, you know, when I heard the Westmoreland, I'm like,
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah.
It is, because I think the things that we enjoyed in life or experience as our daily living made us stronger and resilient. I love that word. Wherever we go. You know, so as a child, I did track and field in high school as a cross-country champion for a couple of years. I went to Manning's High School in Westmoreland, and then I went on to college at GC Foster, where I'm a trained PE teacher and coach. But unfortunately, when I left college, I went to work in business. I worked at the Department of Medicine at UWI. And learned a lot there, but then I eventually went back to teaching. And later on, if I were not to be here today, I would say I've achieved a lot because of the fact that I participated in the community. I did a lot of track and field events representing Westmoreland. I became the National Girl of the Year in 1984, where I was for Westmoreland and then I won for Jamaica. And it changed my life. You know, the then Minister of Youth and Sports, Ed Bartlett, he just sent me all over the place, all over the Caribbean to represent the youth. And that just laid the groundwork for what to come. 2 years after that, I was living in Kingston, so I competed in the Jamaica Festival Queen competition, but I represented Kingston and St. Andrew, and I won, and later won the national title. And it was a special year because it was Jamaica 25, and I think it was Marcus Garvey's 100th birthday.
Wow.
And so it meant a lot to the Jamaican people, with Marcus Garvey being our first national hero. And so it was one big year of celebration, 25 years of independence, this great leader that led many throughout the world. And so I've held those two titles. And because I've done that, I live on that foundation of trying to be excellent, trying to be inclusive of everyone, and being a cultural ambassador. I believe in education because I found, for me and many of the people from my community, that is what propels us to a better standard of living. One that today we have used as example to the young people that lived in our community and in our immediate family.
Right. Wow. And so with as we can see, your passion clearly is connected to service and leadership, and of course your cultural responsibility, right? So thank you for sharing that with us. But Dr. Evette, now if you could tell us about the Atlanta Jamaica Association and what is its mission, and why is that so important for the diaspora here in Atlanta?
So for me to answer that, I go by the mission that the founders came up with. And basically, that mission was to serve the community and connect Jamaica with Atlanta. Did I lose you?
No, we're here. We're here.
Okay. And in doing so, we promote different aspects of our island. Of course, the natural beauty, the food, the music, the dance, the sport, even the fashion, and of course the language in itself, the Jamaican patois and unique words. So in lying or aligning myself with that mission, we basically look at why is there an Atlanta Jamaican Association? And so I did some research because the association goes back to 1977, 48 years ago.
Wow.
And at that time, there was no Jamaican government representative here in the state or in Atlanta. So the Atlanta Jamaican Association was formed to bring all the Jamaicans together so they could identify with their culture and with each other. And as a result, the association then created activities that would foster togetherness, celebration, and to give back, whether it's a natural disaster like we just had Melissa, or just to share the different aspect of culture. So my role at this time in that now we have a government presence in the state is for us to bridge and join together as one people. And we say that every high school from Jamaica is represented in Atlanta, which is a good thing because everybody's giving back. But at some point, we get together and we share the one thing that bonds us together, that does that binding, that bridging, and that in itself is a little island, Jamaica. So in terms of the AJA's mission, that's our role, to give back to the country, propel young people to succeed, assist them with their education. But I have to redefine a lot of stuff because when the association was started, a lot of stuff that are now in Atlanta was not here before. So now we have to streamline our role and our goal and our objective. And we're in the process of doing that and to move with technology and the time that we're in.
Awesome, awesome.
Makes
You
sense.
know, Dr. Evette, the mission of the AJA gives powerful context to the work you're doing now. What makes the AJA uniquely positioned to host something as powerful as a symposium that is about to take place on Wednesday?
So, one of the things that makes us positioned to do so is the fact that we live in our history, meaning we're the oldest organization here reflecting the Jamaican culture in Atlanta. So if you look at a lot of the associations that exist now, they have passed through the AJA. They came, they joined, they saw, they create so that we have a strong diaspora here. However, we never sway from our mission, which is to promote the culture. So when we look at who Marcus Garvey is, it is only fitting that we step into that role. He's our first national hero. And we have the database, we have the connection to bind all the community together so that we all can celebrate. And we'll talk a little bit more about why Marcus Garvey is so important and how relevant he is today. Because he's not with us anymore. He's been gone. But why does his teachings live on? And what does his teaching mean to us?
Right. So, happy that you're speaking on that, because that's what we're going to move right into. We're going to move right into that heart of that conversation. And, let's talk about what is happening with this event that's coming up. What is the Atlanta Remembers, and why is this event so important right now?
So you use the word right now, which is really, 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 really important. So Marcus Garvey, he taught many different things, but he taught self-pride, self-preservation, self-reliance, and as our grandparents or parents would say to us, he taught ambition. Where do you want to go with your life? Do you believe in yourself? And those are some of the things that are very, very, very important for us today, because it's easy for us to get depressed. It's easy for us to feel defeated. However, if we listen to his teaching, it strengthens us. I tell the story that I was 12 years old. And as you see, I'm chocolate in color. And I felt some kind of way in the 70s. And I went to the library in a place called Granger, and I found a book written by Marcus Garvey. And I read it. And I jokingly say, after I read that book, you couldn't stop me. Because I believed that I was a human being, not just a black girl that was super dark in complexion. So his teaching reinvigorates as we remembers who we are, to believe in ourselves and to aspire. He talk about you being self-reliant, creating your own business opportunity. That's relevant today as well, because once we're empowered to create our own wealth, that's following his teaching. And that is why it's important that we remember and we know where we came from, from the continent of Africa, being put on a slave ship, traveling across the Atlantic to a new world, being enslaved. Many didn't make it. So like this year is 526 years of that we're celebrating. we talk about the MAAFA, and I think you would want to talk about that a little more, but we have Holocaust, and that was considered to be the Holocaust of the Black man or the Black human. So that is why it's important right now that we know who we are and we remember his teaching and we remember where we're coming from. We remember when the slave trade ended, and we remember that the United Nations passed March 25th as the day of celebration for the end of the slave trade.
Dr. Evette, you're hitting hard, and I like what you're saying, and we need to hear it, and we need to hear it more often too. I don't think we have these conversations enough. It shouldn't require a symposium, an event, to be having these type of conversations. This is stuff we need to talk about all the time. So I'm glad you're bringing it out and putting it out there, and especially on this platform that is about uplifting people. So important that we have these conversations, right, Dr. Donna?
Oh, absolutely.
But for those who are out there and they're hearing about symposium and the event that you're putting on for the first time, I want you to really paint a picture of what they will experience by coming there. All right. So when they show up at Big Bethel Church on March 25th, what can they expect?
So when they show up this Wednesday, from the moment they enter the room, they'll feel the weight and the warmth of history. Big Bethel is the oldest Black congregation in Atlanta. Of course, their walls speaks to that. And you will hear drums, you will see the colors of the libration, and you'll feel a sense of reverence. It will be immersive because you'll have all aspects of the history. It will be emotional and deeply grounding at the same time. We'll have performance from reggae to gospel, and we'll have display of African MAAFA display will be there. So they need to come with an open mind, and for some it will be a trigger of what we learned when we were young. But you will feel like you're in a place of safety, a place that when you leave you will be invigorated to go out and again believe in yourself and share what you have learned and yearn for more of what will be shared there.
And before you go, Dr. Donna, I think the point that is so important that you just made is share what you learn from attending. Don't hold on to it. Don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on. Dr. Donna, I move it to you.
Yeah. So, like you're explaining to us just what you're explaining, just the entire atmosphere, you can tell that it's going, it's very meaningful. And, and I am sure the event has a very distinct purpose. But Dr. Evette, what is it that make this event, this year's event on March 25th, which is in 2 days, I believe, so different from the other remembrance events that people may have attended in the past?
So for the last 3 years, this is the third year, we've been building. The first year we introduced. Second years we installed a plaque commemorating Marcus Garvey's attendance at that church on the walls of the church. So one would say, what else? What else can you do? But this won't be a ceremony. It will be an awakening. And we all need an awakening right now. And what we will be doing is blending history, culture, and spirituality in the community that will be both educational and transformative. It won't be a passive event. People will feel and reflect and participate. They won't watch. we'll be talking about the Marcus Garvey, of course, who we know who he is, and I don't want to talk too much because Wednesday's a day where you'll hear everything. But it's Women History Month as well. So we'll have different features such as Ida B. Wells. And Ida B. Wells was a great civil rights leader and one of our strong women. She's one of the first Black journalists and educator and so forth. So we'll be featuring her work, her life there as well. And then we all know about the Black Negro Month, right? Or the Negro Month that Woodson, I don't want to use the word instigated, but started, which later came to be Black History Month, which we just passed through. People laugh all the time and say it's the shortest month of the year, but we have it anyway, and we celebrate all the great freedom fighters that came and have gone and have left their mark. So we will also be featuring an abolitionist from Nigeria who worked in the UK for freedom. So this year is different. It's not just about Marcus Garvey. He led the way for them. But then these other 3 people will be looked at as well. The MAAFA will be looked at, as well as we have to look at the fact that March 25th celebrates the end of the slave trade. So, I'll say to the team, I'm like, I think we should keep this on the weekend, right? But the day is very important because it happened on March 25th. So Marcus Garvey spoke there. The end of the slave trade was on that day. We celebrate 526 years of the ship's seizure from coming to the New World with slaves. So that's the major difference. Marcus Garvey, the people that follow him, the work that they're done. And our goal is to instill within the young people that will be attending what these people did before them and what they can be and what they can do.
Awesome. So again, you're watching In the Spotlight, and our guest is Dr. Evette Taylor-Reynolds, president of AJA. Big stuff there. Great work you're doing over there, Dr. Evette. Bring it all together for us. And so, Dr. Evette, something so meaningful is going down Wednesday. So meaningful. The question for me is, who needs to be in the room? Who should be in the room on Wednesday? And why do they need to be there?
So at this time in our lives, I'll talk about the Jamaicans. I will talk about the Caribbean. We went through a traumatic thing in October where Jamaica, where Marcus Garvey came from, part of it was just, I don't want to say wiped out, because the resilience of the country, I went there a couple of weeks ago and the tree grew back and people are building their house and repairing. But who should be there? Anybody who believes in themselves. Garvey taught us to know ourselves, love ourselves, and build for ourselves. That message is the foundation of everything that we're trying to do. Atlanta Remembers. It's not just about looking back, it's about using history. So, as you say, who should be there? Everybody who believes in themselves, every young person, every Jamaican, every Caribbean person, every African, because a lot of what Marcus Garvey taught has been adopted in the continent of Africa. So remembrance is embodied, and we can fully honor our ancestors from a distance. Being in the room will create a shared energy, a shared memory a shared commitment, which is for the future after the event. Online acknowledgement when we watch something online is good, but when we gather together, it will create a monumental healing process and give us the strength we need to be reliant and to move on and follow our dreams and not be afraid, because the blood that runs through every color is running through the Black man, just like everybody else. So, we'll be smart and say, if you cut me and cut you, it's the blood. That needs to be known so that us as Black people will continue to believe in ourselves and set an example to the young people. So I ask all the young people to come out, all the seniors to come out, all the people, whether they're young, old, just come out and let us come together, learn together, enjoy together, and be empowered and motivated and share this commitment.
Right. So we talk about definitely the reason why just being a spectator online is one thing, but being present, physically present in that room is more important than anything else, because you're experiencing the embodiment of what is happening there, right? And so with that, we realize that what is happening on March 25th is so much. It's larger than just a calendar date, right? It's much larger than that, and it's rooted in something that is much bigger. And we know, Dr. Evette, the event is recognized the International Day of Remembrance. But if you could really dig a little deeper and really explain to us, what does this day truly represent?
So Marcus Garvey started the UNIA, and it symbolizes, it is represented by the red, black, and green. So the red is for the blood of the ancestors, black for the beauty and the strength of our people, and green for the land of Africa, our origin and our inheritance. So when someone wears these colors, it's a visual declaration of unity and remembrance, in particular for this event. So when we talk about the Day of Remembrance, what we're thinking is, we as African Blacks, many died coming to this part of the world, quote unquote, the New World. And that in itself was a Holocaust. That we don't recognize that this happened to us as a people. So in remembering this day, we know the UN has recognized that it's an important day, and we appreciate that, and we want to stand with that. But at the same time, we want to remember what happened so that it never happens again. People like Dr. Martin Luther King, he preached peace, but he stood up. People like all our national heroes that came or before or after Garvey, they fought. They had no choice. But through Garvey, people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and all the people that worked with them looked at the teaching of Marcus Garvey. And when he spoke years ago, what the UN is celebrating, this time of remembrance, so that that is never forgotten. Because can you imagine you're laying in your bed and someone take you far away? You never saw your homeland again. They put you in shackles. That is something that needs to be remembered. And today that we're free to vote, free to be whatever we want to be, we need to use that as our stepping stool and launch. And we can only do that if we know our history and we remember where we're coming from. And of course, we thank the United Nations for officially recognizing that.
Dr. Evette, when we talk about remembrance, we have to use language that is heavy, honest, but necessary. And it can be a bit intimidating for some. You referenced the MAAFA, the African Holocaust. Why is it so important that we speak this truth boldly?
So it's important that we speak it boldly because no one else was speaking it. It's like it never happened. It's like, what are they talking about? They're just here. They were slaves. But that root, what happened on that root as they took us here? What happened to the enslavement that was imposed on the people and the exploitation and the oppression of the African people? That is important. It was a tragedy. It was a disaster.
Dr. Donna, before you say something, in my opening statement, I said that was not just a root, it was a rupture. And that's exactly what it was. So we'll move it to you.
Yeah, and it's a truth that is so painful. But even though it's painful, it also creates the possibility for reflection and awakening, even though it's painful, and we have to embrace it. For this event, Dr. Evette, what would you like people to feel the moment they enter that room?
So I would want them to have a sense of expectation. What am I going to get from this? I know I'm going to get something. I want to feel it. I want to experience it. And our guest speaker, Steve Golden, the president of the Jamaica UNIA chapter, he's bringing that. We have other speakers. We have a professor from Georgia State. He'll be speaking as well. So they're going to come, and I want them to come with the expectation. Mm-hmm. You came in year one, you came year two. And as I said earlier, which is going to be different? Everything is going to be different. Because we have built, the years have grown, the various symbolic things that are happening on March 25th. So I want them to come to expect that. And to expect when I have a young person singing, or I have someone beating the drums, to understand that we're free to do this and we can do it in the open and celebrate and make it our own.
Right.
Remembrance is a powerful thing, but remembrance must move us beyond just feeling, right? Mm-hmm. Emotions. It must carry us into honoring. And when we talk about honoring, Dr. Evette, we're talking about honoring our ancestors way beyond the words. So what does that mean, that we're honoring our ancestors? What does that mean?
So many of these ancestors, they did the fight. Some gave their lives, but they leave with us their teachings. And when we celebrate and come together like we're going to be doing on March 25th, we're honoring everything that they did. So we honor it by talking about them, by presenting their work, but we're going to leave with a nugget or a few nuggets from what they did, because some of these people that we'll be talking about. Until I started to do the research, I didn't know about them. So apart from learning about these people, because in learning, I think we're honoring them. And going away with something that we've learned that we will practice and share, we will be honoring them as well.
Right. And so, this event, it's happening here in our city in Atlanta. And we know that Atlanta has very deep historical and cultural significance and history behind it. But why, Dr. Evette, why is Atlanta the right place for this gathering of remembrance? And not just, because Atlanta, but what makes the city significant for this?
It's significant, as you mentioned at the start, that Garvey gave his first big speech at that particular church. I think the podium he used, the chair that he used is still there.
Wow.
But as you study the history of Garvey, where he got arrested, tried, was found guilty, and he was in prison right here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got to Atlanta, I'm driving down the street and there's a road called Boulevard. And I'm like, why can't you have a road by the name of just Boulevard? I'm used to like East Boulevard, Pine Tree Boulevard or something like that. But this road is just called Boulevard. So last year, I drove the road to the end of it. And at the end of it was the penitentiary, the state penitentiary. Monstrous building made out of rock and stones. And that's where he was imprisoned. So that is significant for us. Where he gave his big speech, where he was in prison, but also where some of the leaders that came after him came from, like Dr. King, for example. So Atlanta has one of the largest Black populations, and our hope and our expectation is that we can touch the lives of some of the people that live here so that they can know who they are and also believe in themselves and try to aspire for greater things.
Right.
Yeah, for greater things indeed. So one thing we know, Dr. Evette, is that Marcus Garvey's message was never limited to his time. It speaks into our time today. Dr. Evette, how does Marcus Garvey's message connect to what the work that you're doing at the AJA and through this event?
So I'll start with this event first. So with this event, it is sharing the Jamaican culture. So we'll have refreshment, which will reflect our cuisine. We're living in a place of pride because Marcus Garvey is our first national hero as son of the soil. And if we can empower others, that is us sharing our culture. And that in this particular case, that expanded beyond the shores of Jamaica. So for us, he's a proud son who touched the entire world with his teaching. On Wednesday, you will hear some of the places that this gentleman went that were like, how did he get to go there? In the time that he was doing this. I don't want to give away too much about what will be talked about. But in terms of what the AJA does, goes back to bridging the Jamaica and Atlanta communities with the scholarships that we give. That's where we're impacting lives. As we transform, as we're going through a transformation now, it is to make sure that what we do has continuity, not just stops right here. We give a scholarship and we never see the people again. So for example, this year we form the scholarship alumni network. And with all the scholarships that we gave, we got over 25 people, wherever they were, to join and be empowered to be a part of something, because we were able to help them to get into college in their first year. And now we're trying to help beyond the first year as well. So our mission is to grow leaders and people that believe in Garveyism to the point of Jamaica and the world. It's not just about me, but it's like, what is your mark? What are you going to leave behind? If anyone left a mark, Garvey did. And that's where the AJA comes in. Whatever we do, it is to connect the culture and leave a legacy so that the younger folks that are coming behind us can see something that they can acknowledge, embody, and grow and be something other than just what they like. Okay, I grew up, I'd be a teacher. That's it. I'm done. But is there something else you can do? How can you use that teaching degree to impact other lives? So to answer your question, we want to leave a legacy, and we want to build, and we want to create where leaders can come after us, and also where people don't have to suffer if we can help. So you talk about your program earlier, but if we can give someone a backpack, if we can give someone a lunch so that they can further their education and they can go to school and have a pair of shoes, that's our mandate as we think about Garvey.
Right. Wow. So we know that the event that's coming up, it has a significant meaning, to the point that you're asking individuals to wear certain colors. And I know you spoke about it earlier, but I'm going to ask you to repeat it. Just for, if anyone joined us late in the program, they can hear it as well. But for the event coming up, you're asking the attendees to wear the red, black, and green colors. And just go over with us again, what does the colors represent and why is it so important?
Okay, so the red is for the blood of our ancestors. And I think that's where the Holocaust comes in, because we should not forget that blood was spilled on it. Maybe it was spilled before they got on the boat, but on those ships coming over the Mid-Atlantic passage, and for coming here, working as slaves, getting whipped, those blood that were shed, we should never forget those. And of course, believing in ourselves that black is for the beauty and the strength of our people. They always say black don't crack. There's something behind that. And of course, green for the land of Africa, our origin and our inheritance. Now, if I take this a little further, the Rastafarian movement, they got the red, the black, the green, and the yellow. So Jamaica being the only flag in the world that doesn't have a red, blue, or white, if these colors were created back then, what's the coincidence that our two colors are in here and we just have the yellow? So we encourage you to wear the red, the black, the green, and you can also wear the yellow.
Put the dapper yellow in there.
So Dr. when you say black don't crack, they also say once you go black, you can't go back.
Absolutely.
All right. So now, Dr. Evette, I want you to speak directly to the person who's watching, who's interested, but still undecided. For someone who is thinking, I might come, what would you say to move them from thinking to showing up on Wednesday?
So we invite you to come out. We invite you to come and be with the, I don't want to call it congregation, but I should. It's in the church. But to come out and be with the people that are being there in strength, or in numbers, we have strength. And we feed off each other energy. You know, I grew up in the church, and we're like, why you go to church? Yeah, the more of you go together and you worship together, pray together, there's more strength. But when you come, your mind is going to be open, and you'll know the truth of what happened. Mm-hmm. You will get to learn, if you never did before, the scale of the suffering that impacted the African people. You'll also understand the impact that African people have on the world. Think about it. Why did Bob Marley sing Buffalo Soldier? Think about that. How did the Black people participate as a soldier? And of course, you will be presented with the ongoing legacy that shape all our lives today. And if we needed that at any time, we need it now. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking, I don't want to come, okay, we live in Atlanta, there's traffic. Just take your time, and you're going to get off, and you're going to come to Big Bethel. Parking is free. You don't have to worry that you're going to need something to eat, because food will be provided. And then your mind is going to be fed with history, and it will be fed with what to do going forward.
Wow. What to do going forward. So we're drawing on time, Dr. Evette, we're at the hour. But before we go, I want to give you an opportunity, just in case we didn't ask you a question and there's something you want to share. This is your opportunity to do so.
Thank you. So for me, I've shared most of what I want to share, but I want to share that I'm extending a special invitation. It's a free event. We want the church to be full. We want to have that energy, and we want to leave with the impact of Marcus Garvey. Don't let anything stop you from coming. Come, our arms will be open to welcome you. And if you don't have red, black, or green, or yellow, come as you are. We want to have a great time, and we want this to be monumental. There have been various Garvey events throughout the country, but Atlanta holds a special place.
Right.
So I'm inviting you to come out and to support and be a part of history.
Wow.
Thank you.
How can anyone refuse? All right, so Dr. Donna, tonight we remembered. But I just want to say that remembrance is only the beginning, because memory without movement becomes silence.
Right.
And silence is something history has already endured for far too long. Marcus Garvey once stood in this very city, Atlanta, and called a people to rise, to know who they are, to reclaim their identity, and to move with purpose. That call still echoes today. So now the question becomes, how will we answer that call? Will we carry the legacy? Will we honor the sacrifice? Will we show up not just in words, but in presence? Atlanta, this is your moment, not just to attend, but to answer the call. Dr. Evette, let me say thank you for sharing wisdom with us tonight. Truly appreciate you coming on and for all the work that you're doing at the AJA. That, as you said earlier, is the organization that has birthed every other Jamaican type organization in Atlanta. So we congratulate you for the work you're doing there as the president. And we ask that you continue to do that work with the energy and the commitment that you have displayed over there. Thank you. Dr. Donna, turn to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Evette, for joining us. Well, we definitely appreciate you being here and taking the time to spend your Monday evening with us. But I think most importantly is sharing just a little bit of history that is so profound and is so important for us to know about. And not just know, but like Dr. Stephenson say, to take action. Make sure you're still active, because people, history has a way of repeating itself. And we need to be aware. We need to be coming together. We need to just be there. March 25th. If you're hearing about Marcus Garvey for the first time, if you're hearing about the work, I know it's not the first time you've heard about Martin Luther King. We're in his city. Marcus is just a part of that history. And there's nothing like being in that church and the feeling that you will experience, knowing that you are present in a historic place. Historic things took place there. So definitely come out and support the event. And just like Dr. Evette said, there's not a cost for the event. You come out, it's all about knowledge. It's all about bringing people together, making you aware so that you can become better versions of who you are and just know your history and where you're going. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining us, our guests, this Monday evening. It is the beginning of the week, so definitely go out there and do great things, but most importantly, be safe. There's a lot that is taking place out there, so we want you to be safe, and we would like you to go out there and do an act of kindness. Find a stranger that you do not know and do something kind. In a world where there is so much that's going on, let's begin spreading kindness. It just takes one act of kindness. A good morning, you're doing great. How are you? You look beautiful. Whatever it is, have a great day. Buy someone coffee, donuts, whatever it is. But let's go ahead and just start spreading kindness and love to strangers. Definitely always be kind and loving to your family, but we want to make it infectious, right? And so with that, you all have a wonderful Monday evening.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. And the address of the event is 220 Auburn Avenue, Atlanta.
Right. And with that, we'll say good night.
Good night.
Step into the spotlight.
Couple lights on, cameras roll. Time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change. We open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the